A look at the $16 million 1962 Ferrari 250 GT SWB Berlinetta Speciale by Bertone. Before we get started, I want you to hit that red subscribe button to avoid missing any amazing videos from us. Without any further ado, let's get into the video. Keeping all the many variants of the Ferrari 250 straight is a difficult chore in itself. There were 23 different models, but each of these was subdivided further. And there were even versions of that car that were only made in single-digit numbers. Despite being one of the rarest models of the car, this one managed to stand out. It's 1962 Ferrari 250 GT short wheelbase with Bertone's one-of-a-kind exterior design just for Lucio Bertone. The car belonged to Lucio, but he used it as a show car to promote his company's coach-building capabilities. A shark-nosed body was developed by famed designer Giugiaro under the supervision of his boss Giuseppe Lucio Bertone for a 1962 250 GT SWB Berlinetta Speciale. Lucio Bertone was never considered himself a designer, but as a head of Carrozzeria Bertone, the design studio he ran until his death in 1997, he established himself as possibly the world's finest scout for creative talent. When Bertone finally got the chance to design for Ferrari, the Dino 208 GT4 was a flop when it debuted in 1973. A Ferrari had to go back to Pininfarina to replace it in 1980s. One of Lucio Bertone's greatest regret in life was this situation. He discovered and honed the talents of Giugiaro and Marcello Gandini, and under his directions, they created some of the most beautiful, challenging, and influential automobiles of the 20th century, including the Lamborghini Miura and its successor, the Countach, the Alfa Romeo Giulietta Sprint, and the Lancia Stratos. Despite the company's success, Bertone was disappointed that no Ferrari had been designed. He took matters into his own hands in 1962, purchasing a Ferrari 250 GT SWB chassis and collaborating with Giugiaro to produce the automobile that will be auctioned at Gooding & Co. Pebble Beach auctions on August 15 and 16. The car has passed through several owners and was once used as a daily driver in California for 13 years. It has since been completely restored and is in immaculate conditions. It was recently auctioned by Gooding & Co. and become one of the most valuable automobiles ever sold at public auctions. Enzo Ferrari was so taken with the automobile that when Bertone brought him a Christmas gift that year, he replied with a letter praising the Speciale's bodywork and signing it, "Your, if you will permit me, friend, Enzo Ferrari." As I previously stated, every Ferrari 250 is unique, but the bodywork on the 250 GT SWB Berlinetta Speciale is particularly stunning. Giorgio Giugiaro, a young Bertone designer who had impressed Bertone with concepts for coach-built versions of the 1960 Aston Martin DB4 GT Jet and the Maserati 5000 GT, created the design. Lucio Bertone chose him personally, and it appears that he made the correct decisions because the design is truly gorgeous. Giugiaro was inspired by shark-nosed Ferrari race vehicles of the 1950s, a notion that translated remarkably well to a road car. Interior. There aren't many cars with interiors as appealing as this one. The interior received a makeover in the same way that the body was adjusted and improved, making the already excellent 250 even more stunning. The transmission's tunnel and footwells are quilted black vinyl, while the seats are burgundy leather. The metal dash is painted to match the body colors, and there are power windows. The steering wheels, which has a black bakelite rim, is also unique to this car. It's all extremely lovely and it goes well with the exotic bodywork. Drivetrain. The 250 is mechanically identical to other 250 GT SWB Berlinetta. A variant of that car was introduced in 1959. The 3.0-liter V12 engine from which the car gets its name is at the heart of this. Ferraris were originally designated after the displacements of each cylinder, which in this case was 250cc. The 250 GT SWB Berlinetta's versions was tweaked to produce between 237 and 276 horsepower. In 1959, that was a lot of money, especially for a car as light as this one. This Ferrari GT car features disc brakes, was also this model. Overall, it's a fantastic machine. Prices. This is where the plot begins to spiral out of control. The automobile was auctioned for $16.5 million at Pebble Beach this year. Even Gooding & Co.'s initial estimate of $40 million to $16 million for the car has been surpassed. In general, the 250 GT SWB Berlinetta isn't quite as rare as, say, the California versions of the 250 GT, but this is by far the highest price to pay for one. In fact, few cars have ever sold for more, at least not those whose sale price has been made public. This is the 6th most expensive car ever sold, or the 8th when all statistics are adjusted for inflations. And the majority of those that sold more were other Ferraris, mainly 275 and 250s. Because the car main competitors are other unique versions of the 250, the automobiles featured below are the few others equally valuable antiques that aren't Ferraris. Bugatti Type 41 Royale by Kellner. All Royales are incredibly valuable, but Kellner car fetched the highest due to the fact that only 6 were ever manufactured as a pinnacle manifestations of luxury in the years leading up to World War II. It was bricked up in the Bugatti family house to keep it safe from the Nazis, and it was sold to Briggs Cunningham for $571 and 2 refrigerators after the war, along with another Royale. Since then, it has somewhat increased in value. 1937 Mercedes-Benz 540K. Due to World War II, one of the most beautiful Art Deco cars had its production period cut short. This one has a 180 horsepower supercharged straight 8 engines and a tube chassis inspired by Mercedes race cars of the time. But for all its racing features, the 540K had a lot of flair, which is perhaps why one sold for $12 million. There are simply not enough positive things to say about this vehicle. The 250 demands such a high price because it's an incredibly good car, even by today's standard. As you'd expect from a car custom built for the head of an Italian coach building enterprise, this one is also an extraordinary example of the breed. The racing variants of the 250s have commanded higher costs, but I'm not sure why. What are your thoughts on this incredible car? Let us know in the comment. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell to receive notifications for our future videos. Thank you for watching.